Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronny Haze, and today we got a box in the mail from McFarlane Toys. They sent us the two newest figures from Fortnite. We've already reviewed the Cuddle Team Leader on the channel, and then the Skull Trooper, and Wave 2 should be coming out shortly as well after the holidays. I'm excited about the Bright Bomber. My daughter loves her as well. Very colorful look, very iconic skin in the Fortnite game, as well as the role-playing harvesting tool for the Bright Bomber, and then the T-Rex skin right there. I imagine that's the best fit for that. But anyway, so we have our very own C-Day figure to review, as well as the Black Knight. This is one of my all-time favorite skins. It was the final tier in Battle Pass Season 2, if I'm not mistaken. Absolutely love this skin, and I can't wait to dig these open. So, any, mini, money, mo, it doesn't really matter. We're going to dive into the Dark Knight first, and then Black Knight, sorry. I always call him Dark Knight. He's not Batman, he's a Black Knight. We're going to dive into the Black Knight, and then the Raptor. It'll likely be two separate videos, so stay tuned for that. I'll post them at the same time. So as soon as you're done with this video, dive right into the Raptor review, aka our boy C-Day. All right, so let's jump right into the Black Knight himself. Go up a little bit, start from head to toe. I will bring in the Skull Trooper in a minute to show how his legs and hands are identical, just painted differently. I think that's something that is a benefit for the company, so they can get the most out of their sculpts and molds, more likely be able to give us more characters, and also it is accurate to the video game since they're reskins, so that fits. Anyway, starting off with the very cool look of the mask, I kind of do feel like I only got one con. This is an amazing figure except for one small con and then maybe another little one. I feel like I love the metal look. It has a more realistic knight look to it, but in the game I get this feeling that he is a little more black. And I think that might have worked a touch better having a little more black. So maybe it's just how they're colored, but this looks like a silver knight more than it does a black knight. Maybe at a distance. Yeah, maybe at a distance he's a little more black than silver, but up close you could kind of see that silver metal look, which I tell you what, they did a great job painting this. It has that realistic look to it, and they did a fantastic job with the eyes in there. They got a little red and a little orange. They got his painting of the helmet. You got his scarf here, his metal chest plate, which is the only other con. Other than that, this guy is fantastic. In the game, the chest plate is molded not like a real chest plate. It's kind of molded around a muscular chest of the character. So it makes the knight seem like this really slim skin, and it's a little different. It's more realistic on, or more real world looking on the figure itself. It's kind of just flat down. In the game, it has this look as if it's molded to his muscles and then slimmer in the waist. And maybe that's just, I don't know how it looks to me, but it does have that slim look. Even on the box, you can kind of see how it's got like that slim. But other than that, he still looks cool. He doesn't have the ab crunch that the Skull Trooper has, but it's not a deal breaker. He still looks absolutely amazing. So we have the same boots and shin guards as the Skull Trooper. These are all painted black though, no scuff marks like the Skull Trooper. They're definitely different. And again, that is accurate to the game. You got the buckles here. You have his little skirt design here with the belt and the second belt up top. You have the pouch, all game accurate stuff. You have his bandana. His arms look cool right here. This chain mail here. And then his arm piece. And then his hand. And like I said, this is similar to the Skull Trooper. His hand is the same, left and right, as the Black Knight. Even his arm in certain areas, it's sculpted with the chainmail, but then you have the bandana. And again, this isn't the company that's making the toys being cheap. This is accurate to the game because they're made off the same skin. So you can see the legs are the same, just painted different. But they do have a lot of different stuff with the articulation. Obviously, because of the length of his helmet, you're going to get a very limited amount of articulation in the head. That usually has a lot. Don't worry, don't fear. He can still do the hype. That's probably the most you're going to get for the articulation if you get it. His mask to some clearance around that bandana. You can get some movement. You can get a little attitude, I call it, in posing. So you could definitely find some. See right there? You put a little attitude in it for your display on the shelf, but you got to get it to clear that scarf right there. And underneath it looks like it's just black, which is fine. That's what it should be. But so as far as the articulation in the shoulders, this is actually really articulated. You can go up as much as you want. You can go all the way around, and you have these, I want to give them a neat name, man. These this extra bit of articulation here that just goes all the way around. It's different than a butterfly joint. Usually, as far as I know, goes back and forth kind of like butterfly wings, but these go all over the place to give you that little bit of extra articulation. Moving his arms forward or backwards, however you need it. And I'm going to break it real quick just to show you something that I actually like. This is, I'm sorry, I'm going to take his arm off. It's not broken. This is how it's designed. It's got a little hole in there for the ball on the peg. And if, let's say, you over-articulate it and you pop it off like I did, you can just pop it back on and it's tight. It's not just going to fall off when it's on your shelf. I think that's a massive plus. These are premium figures. If you're a kid and you get overexcited, or an adult and you get overexcited, and you're putting them on your display and you crank his arm off, it's not broken. You don't need super glue. You know, I actually really like that. And I screwed it up getting it back on. But you get the arm to line up if you do it right. There we go. You just got to get that ball to line up, and it's real easy. I made it look like it's extremely difficult, but it's easy to pop it back in there. I think that's a massive plus. So, arm swivel under the shoulder, and then you got double joints in the elbow, giving him a lot of articulation there. You got a lot of articulation with the wrist. It's got that hinge here and a swivel, as well as the waist turns, but no ab crunch because of his armor. They didn't want to mess up the sculpt there, I would imagine. And then you have the articulation in the hips that it's still growing on me, but the articulation in the hips has this, I've never seen anything like it before, where you kind of got to move it in different directions to get it to move certain ways. You can get it to go up, you can get it to go back a little bit. You do, again, you got to kind of tilt it to get it to go back. You can get different things of articulation with them, all different weird poses, but you definitely have to play with how it moves in there. And again, I think that's because, and this guy just seems to articulate a little more than the previous figures, but if you look inside there, it has a different joint than I've ever seen before. And the cool thing is, when you get them together, it makes it pretty seamless. On the hips, you don't have this really noticeable articulation. With the Walking Dead figures, it was extremely noticeable. See what I mean? You just have his butt there and his legs and this little cut here. When you move him around, obviously, you're going to get some stuff, but you're not going to notice that if you're posing him. And you got double hinges on the knee. Actually, he's really, I don't know, his articulation is pretty good. It seems a little less stiff than the Skull Trooper. You have toe articulation, and you have articulation in the ankle. It goes up and down a lot. Depending on where you move this, this ball, you can get him to do some crazy articulation if you get him in a weird stance for shooting his gun or something. So that is the Dark Knight, Black Knight. What am I doing? That's the Black Knight. One of my favorite skins, very articulated. And we're going to take a look at his equipment here. He's going to get the harvesting tool that I believe the only thing that's not accurate is this. I could be wrong, but I think in the game this is just a strap hanging down. And here it looks like it's like a metal piece. So you got like a leather handle, you got the metal, and the sloppy paint is on purpose. In the game it is like that. It kind of looks like a splash of paint and a splash of paint here in the game itself. So that is accurate. So that's a harvesting tool. He comes with the grenade launcher, one of the more pain in the ass weapons, especially if you're in squads and someone starts rocking you with a grenade launcher. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where they're landing. And I would like to see some of these later on in different colors. I think that would be cool. Painted a little differently. And then you have his back bling, which can be traded between the characters. This guy has the fire-breathing dragon on the back. And I would love to see the Red Knight, which is the female version. That would be really cool. I always thought the Black Knight and the Red Knight, if you take the Red Knight's back bling and put it on the Black Knight, and then the Black Knight's back bling and put it on the Red Knight, I think they match even better. So that's him with his back bling, an iconic Season 2 character from the Battle Pass, brought to life by McFarlane Toys in incredible detail. I mean, the friggin' detail of this thing is outstanding. I think these are the best Fortnite figures on the market. I've seen those little 4-inch ones, and it's cute for kids to play with. I think for younger kids that are going to play with them, I think those 4-inch ones are great for that. But for older kids and older collectors and older adults that are playing the game, and you want something visual that's not just a poster, that's kind of like a statue that you can pose, these are where it's at. These are the only figures on the market that you're going to want to get for that case, and I think McFarlane Toys is doing a fantastic job. And just like every other figure, they come with the Fortnite stand. It's just a black stand with Fortnite hidden right here, indented, or embossed, I should say, because it actually pops out some. So this is the Black Knight and the Skull Trooper side by side. I have the Cuddle Team Leader wrapped up for my daughter. That was actually a Christmas present to her, so I can't put her side by side, but I do have a review of the other two in the wave. And we're going to end this and bring out the C-Day action figure next. So stay tuned for the end of the video. I'm going to put a card somewhere on the screen, and you can click on it to go right to the Raptor review of that figure. And again, a big thank you to McFarlane Toys for sending these over. Some information I do want to get out there, though. The Black Knight is available for pre-order at Think Geek. The design is directly sculpted and painted from the in-game assets. That's why they share some of the designs between the different characters. Comes complete with the back bling. We've showed that off. Equipped with the grenade launcher. Showed that off. Harvest your materials with the Excalibur harvesting tool. We showed that off. That's this right here. And then the Black Knight is showcased in a premium glossy Fortnite themed window box packaging. Again, I think the packaging for the Fortnite figures is awesome, off the hook. Black Knight stands tall on a Fortnite branded display base. This is the official information. And then it says, if you enjoy the figures and want to share them with your fans, we love if you could tag us so we can repost on our channels. And this is if you guys want to share to McFarlane Toys. Go to Facebook, McFarlane Toys, and Twitter at Todd_McFarlane, Instagram at McFarlane_Toys. I'm going to put all this information in the video description, so that way you can go right there if you want to show off your displays or your purchases, your collections. You can hit them up and they'll repost what you show off. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this one, and I'll get right over to that Raptor review next.